Hey everybody, Robert from Black Belt Gaming. I still have my cold, but I am continuing my playthrough of Arkham Horror, the card game. I did catch a little mistake thanks to a friend and viewer. Let's take a look and see. So in the upper left, there's several little dots here, or they could be stars, I'm not sure. This indicates a card that is a leveled up version or an improved version of a more basic card. So I actually shouldn't have that one out. For the same cost, it should be this one with no dots or no stars on it. That's the one that's on the table. It's not quite as strong as the upgraded card, but it is good enough for now, giving us a +1 fight, I believe. Is it called fight? Combat, giving us +1 combat. And then after you defeat an enemy, exhaust, deal 1 damage to her, and discover 1 clue at your location. So the round sequence says, the Mythos phase, as we head into round 2, place 1 Doom on the agenda. There's our agenda card, what's going on. Doom counter number 1 is there. Even my lights are beginning to flicker because of the evil entering the room as the first Doom counter is placed. Once there are 3 on here, then we'll have to shift to the next card. All right, it is time for each investigator to draw 1 card from the top of the encounter deck. Let's start with Harvey Walters. He draws Grasping Hands. Grasping Hands says that we need to test agility with a target number of 3. For each point you fail by, take 1 damage. Well, Harvey only has an agility of 2, so I think we're going to have him commit this card using this wild symbol to help him with this skill test. So we're going to use this to boost agility to 3. I believe that is how the wild symbols work. All right, we're just going to take a gamble that that's enough. Let's draw and see. Oops, we've got a -2. So we were at 3, -2 is 1. So we failed by 2. That means Harvey Walters is going to suffer 2 damage. So it says, decaying hands rise up from below and grasp and claw at your ankles. What the hell? Harvey takes 2 damage. All right, Cho's card. Ravenous Ghoul. Well, this looks mean. 3 combat, I think that's 3 health and a 3 agility or evade number that we need to do. He's going to go after the one with the lowest remaining health. So I believe, although Cho drew this card and would normally be engaged with it, I think since it chooses the one with the lowest health, I think it instead is going to engage with Harvey Walters. Well, we are not even out of the first room yet, and I feel like we're already in big trouble. We head into the investigator phase now. For each of them gets 3 actions on their turn. All right, I think what we're going to do is we're going to take the engage action, where I think Cho can call or maybe put himself between this ravenous ghoul and the professor. So he's going to get in its face for his first action. And so Cho's going to go first. That's his first action. He's got 2 more remaining. Well, I feel like there's some good cards here for Cho, especially something like the old 1-2 punch. but we don't have the resources. We burned our resources getting Wagner out here as an ally. So I guess we could do the Monster Slayer. We're going to get +1 damage on the attack. Why don't we make a combat check? Chose at a 5, +1 fight for Wagner. That's going to be a 6. Let's go ahead and draw. We're going against a difficulty of 3, so I'm pretty confident we're going to get this. We got a 0. That's a successful hit. We're going to pile on the damage here with Monster Slayer. Add +1 damage to this attack. Well, that was an event card, and it says when you deal damage to an enemy by an event or a fight ability on an event, which it was, deal 1 additional damage. So our base damage is 1, +1, +1 for the card. I think we just took out the ghoul, the ravenous ghoul, with a big left hook. All right, it says here, after you defeat an enemy, exhaust Wagner and deal 1 damage to her. Discover 1 clue at your location. So I think that's what we'll do. We'll put a damage on our ally. She can take up to 3, but we get to discover another clue. That's halfway. I think for his last action, we're going to gain 1 resource for Cho. He's got some other cards, but he's only got 1 resource. This will give him 2. For Harvey, I think before I play any cards out of his hand, I think what I'm going to do is have him investigate. Let's try to get out of the study as quickly as possible. And that's just based on playing other games where hanging around in the same place for too long is usually bad news. So I'm just going with a base intellect of 5. -1 is a 4. That's greater than 2. That's good enough to get us another clue. And I think I'm going to have him do that again. So base of 5, we got a -2, taking us down to 3. Still good enough to get us the final clue. So, as a, I forgot what it's called. Well, I believe it's just called Advancing the Act deck. It doesn't take an action. You can just, as a group, spend the clues that you have to advance the act deck to the next card. So spending our 4 clues from the 2 investigators, I believe we're able to advance this. So we'll turn this over and see what it says. It says you notice that the edges of your newly purchased rug are tattered and mud-stained. Finding this odd, you shift the furniture aside and pull back the rug. To your surprise, you see the door leading out of your study. You slowly turn the knob and the door swings open, revealing the hallway below. You jump through the doorway, landing on your feet on the soft dirt. The door to the study slams shut above you. The smell of burning wood fills the narrow hall, intermingled with the scent of rot and decay. Put into play the set-aside cards, hallway, cellar, attic, parlor. Discard any enemy in the study. Place investigators in the hallway and remove study from the game. So here I've put up the attached locations. We have the attic, the cellar, and the parlor. The barrier. A glowing barrier blocks the path to your parlor. As you move forward, intense heat forces you to back away. Picking up a handful of dirt, you toss it at the barrier and watch in horror as the dirt incinerates. Perhaps there's something in the cellar or the attic that can help. When the round ends, investigators in the hallway may, as a group, spend the requisite number of clues to advance. Well, let's get myself situated here. Nathaniel is, I guess, over. His turn is finished. And Harvey has one remaining action, and they're both in the hallway. A moment of panic and disorientation strikes at you, or strikes as you land upon the floor of the hallway. The world spins as if turned on its head. Since we're there, I'm going to go ahead and turn this over. And it says, the walls of your house are splattered with mud, and your hardwood floor is gone, replaced with a dirt path. So there's 0 clues here. For some reason, there's I think it's called a shroud level of 1. Perhaps we'll find out why later. But not much going on in the hallway right now, thank goodness. So I think what we'll do for Harvey's last action is spend 2 of our 4 resources, and we'll bring in this encyclopedia, and it says that it comes with 5 secrets or 5 uses. For an action, we can exhaust and spend a secret, and we get, or somebody at our location gets +2 to a skill of your choice until the end of the phase. Well, that's going to finish it up for Harvey now. Remember, we took some damage. We're heading into, I think it would be the enemy phase, but thanks to Cho, the enemy was knocked out. So I think we drop down to the upkeep. We're going to reset our cards, draw 1 card, and gain 1 resource. So we've reset. Our first card for Harvey will be this Book of Books, something fragments. I think I've got that in my hand already, so we have a second copy of that. Cho gets Randall Cho. This is an ally. And, he's maybe a medic or a healer of some kind. That might be very useful. So we'll put him into our hand, and both investigators get a resource token. So they each have 3 now. So that's it, everybody. That's the second round. Thanks for watching, and I hope you'll join me for the next round coming soon.